I got a Mustang back here. Thinks he wants some of the Challenger. You see him in the rear view. I don't think he's keeping up. Hello everyone, Mopar Dad 84 here, and I just want to talk about what my impressions of the Ripp Coil packs are so far. And I want to note that I did unhook the negative battery cable before I did the install. I do that with any mod just because I've heard a long time ago that you should do that before you do any mod, because then the computer has to relearn for your new mods and you get more of a benefit that way. So that's why I do that. If I mention it, I've mentioned in my other videos that I reset the computer. That's all I mean. I just mean that I unhooked the negative battery terminal so that it would reset the computer. That's all I mean. When I say I reset the computer, that's all I mean. I just unhooked the negative battery terminal. So I do that again with every mod, so that way I get the most of it. So I'm gonna be driving. The AC's on, so I'm gonna get to where I'm gonna see what the mileage, if there's any mileage difference. And again, the AC's on, so it's going to be a little bit worse than what it would be if the AC wasn't on, but it's too hot to be running around with no AC right now for me. So we're going to be doing it with the AC on. But basically, when I first started the car after the install, you know, it was everything seemed, you know, about the same, other than, you know, when you do just everyday driving, just easy. I've just been driving it for about a week, you know, to and from work. Everyday driving, it does seem something that it makes sense that it would, I guess, but I didn't expect it. I didn't even think about it. It seemed like it made the car exhaust a little bit deeper. I guess it makes sense because it's creating more spark. It's going to be creating more of a combustion, I guess. So it makes sense that maybe it would be making it a little throatier, but it sounds a little throatier to me. And again, I haven't really been getting on it that hard. I'm just letting the computer just do its thing and relearn the mods, and just waiting for everything to reset, for the computer to reset and everything, and get the benefit, the full benefit. When I do the 0 to 60s in the next video, I want to make sure the computer is relearned everything to where with my last video, or not the last video, the one before that, where I did a 0 to 60 base run, it was like a day after I reset the computer, or a day after I unhooked the battery to reset the computer. So it probably didn't have everything dialed in yet. So I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. The next video I'll be doing some 0 to 60 pulls and see what the difference is. And this one, I'm just talking about my first impressions so far, and it does seem like the little bit that I have gotten into the throttle, when it's in that sweet spot, that 3,000 to 6,000 RPMs, it does seem like it has more power. But we'll see what it says when we get to the 0 to 60 video, and see what the 0 to 60 meter says, and see if it's any quicker by that. But the feel, it does feel like it gains some power when you get into that power band. Other than that, everyday driving, other than the sound being a little throatier, it seems a little deeper. Again, you know, I guess it makes sense because it's creating more spark. It's a stronger combustion with the aftermarket exhaust. It does sound a little deeper. The stock exhaust probably wouldn't sound any different, but with the aftermarket exhaust, you hear a little deeper tone. You notice that. But everyday driving, if you're not getting into the throttle, doesn't seem any, you know, you don't notice it. Like I said, though, the little bit that I have gotten onto the throttle a little bit, I have noticed a difference in power. It seems like it's got a little bit more power, but again, it's not like a night and day difference. So it's hard to say until we can run it. Next week we'll be doing the 0 to 60s and seeing what it's actually putting Again, the last run, 0 to 60, it was running a 6 flat. And again, that was like the very next day after I just unhooked the battery terminal. And when I say the very next day, we're talking like 10 miles, 10, 15 miles. I'm not that far from work, so I only drove it probably 10, 15 miles, so it didn't have time to really relearn all the mods, I don't think. Maybe 30 miles at most, so maybe I drove it to work and back once. But it was the very next day. I'm only like 10, 15 miles from work, so I don't think it really got a chance to relearn my mods before I did the 0 to 60, so it should have been a little quicker, I'm thinking. Because in the winter, obviously, it's like I've said in the other videos, it's colder, cold air intake's working, I get a better time. Right now, that's what it was running, was a 6 flat. So we're gonna try to beat that when we run it next week, and pretty sure it will. It feels like it's got some more power. It seems like it goes through the gears quicker, so that would be indicative of it having more power. If it can blast through the gears quicker, then, you know, I would think it would. That means it's got a little bit more. It feels like it's got a little bit more, but that'll show more in that next 0 to 60 mirror, in that video, the 0 to 60 video. I'm going to be turning onto a nice fairly straight, flat stretch of road where we're going to see if the mile per gallon's any better. So I'm going to switch the camera around. Okay, so switch the camera around. I just reset the miles per gallon, and one of the things that I believe they said is that the coil packs can increase your MPGs. So like I said earlier, now I do have the AC on, so obviously that's going to hamper the miles per gallon potential a little bit. And I have gotten 40 miles to the gallon in the car before. It was on a flatter stretch of road. This has got more hills than I thought it did in it, so the hills really kill your MPG. If you got a nice flat stretch of road, it's a more fair comparison, because you know, you'll be getting, this car would get, if you haven't seen my other videos, I was able to get 40 MPG in the car before. That was a couple mods ago, and so I haven't really done it again. I probably will need to do another one of those videos again now that I've got a couple more mods on, and do it on that same road because it's fairly flat. This one not quite as flat, so it might not be as fair a comparison, but you can see the number climbing. It's getting close to that 40, but again, I do have the AC on too, so it's hard to tell. I will say that I did do this test once after the installing the coil packs, and it was only for a few miles on this road, and I got up to 43 MPG before I stopped it. So that would seem like maybe that it's doing a little better, but it's hard to tell. I just pulled up a little bit of a hill again, so that's why I'm dropping back down. So, you know, if it was flat, if it's flat, you could look at the current and see about what it's going to get. Current where it was flat there was about 42. We're starting to go down a hill again, and we're going to be coming up one, so it's hard. There's no flat ground around here. It's just hills, hills, hills. So flat ground, the car gets 40 at 55 MPG. At 55 miles per hour, it'll get 40 miles a gallon easily. That's the way it was before. I'm trying to see if that's any different. It's hard to tell when there's so many hills. The current is really high right now because I just came down a hill. Now I'm coming back up the hill. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's hard to tell. So let's see. We're leveling out here, so we'll see what the current gets up to, and that's probably about the best we're going to be able to do is see what the current is when it's level. Well, the current is looking really good there. It went up to 46, back down to 38, 37. I don't know why it dropped that low because it's pretty level here. 35. Usually holds about 40 on flat ground. Now it's only about 36. flat here. It might be pulling uphill a little bit, but not nothing drastic. Let's see, I'm going back to 40, 41, 43, 44. So I'd say it's safe to say it's hanging around 44. So it stood there about 44, now it's starting to go down again. So you may be able to say it did pick up a little bit. It's not going to be hugely noticeable. I can say if it did pick up a little bit when you're cruising, it's probably, if you're heavy into the throttle, it's probably using a little more fuel, I would say. You know, but if you're easy into the throttle, it's probably using a little less fuel in them instances. Like right now, I took cruise control off because of so many hills up and down and everything, so it's best to set cruise on flat ground, and this is not nearly as flat as I thought it was. Don't run this road all the time. So like I said, I'll probably have to do another test, just MPG test after mods here in another video. I was trying to get an idea of whether the coil packs did any good as far as MPG. I'm pretty sure they did pretty good as far as performance. I guess that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to do my impressions of what the car seems like so far with the mod. And again, we'll see what the 0 to 60s are in the next video. But right now, so far, the mod looks great, obviously under hood. It seems to be performing well. It does seem like it's got a little bit more punch when you're in that 3,000 to 6,000 RPM range. And so overall, I like the part. I'd recommend it so far. We'll see. We'll see what I think when I do the 0 to 60s and see if that's any quicker. I'm hoping to bust back into the 5s, even though it's, I guess you can see 82 degrees. So that's where my speed is. My 0 to 60 isn't as good for a couple of reasons. One, it's sucking in hot air. Two, I've got the AC on all the time now. So I might do a little, I'll do a little pull for you here from the stop sign. Let you hear the exhaust, let you see the speedo go up a little bit here, and then we'll cap off this video, and next video will be more running the car a little harder in the next video. Let's see, let's turn traction control off because traction control. Let's get it a little bit here. We spun a little bit. So pretty decent. We can go ahead and look and see what the 0 to 60 was right there with the AC on. Probably wasn't that good. 6.6. That's what the AC on, and that's what the tire's spinning. So that should mean we gained a little bit, you know, because when I pulled that 6 flat, that was without wheel spin, and that was without the AC on. So that should indicate that we are going to get a better 0 to 60 next time. Time will tell. Maybe should have left traction control on, but I hate that it, you know, traction control on, if it starts to spin and it starts applying the brake, and it seems like it does more harm than good sometimes, so that's why I shut it off. But 0.6 isn't much. So being the fact that I do have the AC on, as you can see, the AC's on, everybody knows that pulls a pretty good bit of power off your engine. So again, I think that was pretty good considering the AC's on and it's 82 degrees. Normally when I'm doing these pulls, it's a little cooler because I'm doing them at night. So again, I look forward to seeing what it will do without the AC on, a little cooler. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Mopar Dad 84 out.